Alright guys, I'm here with Brad Veltman from Aspen Brewing Company, and here to check out the brewery and talk about beer. So, Brad.
Yes.
What the fuck? You have created pretty much every bro's dream venture.
This is true.
What started your interest in brew, and how'd you get here?
Well, kind of the way we all cut our teeth doing this was we were home brewing. We were in school in Boulder, Colorado. Lots of really good beer in Boulder. I mean, a great college, great atmosphere to, kind of start that stuff up with. I took a lot of business classes and entrepreneurial business classes. Part of those were writing business plans, which obviously helped. Once we graduated, we moved up to Aspen. We'd kind of already done our research coming up here every couple weekends and figuring out that it was, a real viable market. Moved up here with the aspirations of being able to, sign a lease and kind of get our equipment going, and that took a little while. It took about 6 months from when we signed our lease until when we could, really get our equipment in and start brewing. But really, I mean, the short story is found something that we really liked doing, and just, kind of had the balls to do it and really just jumped right into it. I mean, without, there's a lot of people with really good ideas without, having the aspirations and really, starting it, you're never going to get anywhere.
Sick. So what was your sweet spot here, and how'd you find it?
It was, if you can, I'm sure you'll see a picture out the window in a second, but I mean, Aspen's gorgeous, really fun town. It's a party town, but not only is it a party town, but there's tons of other stuff to do. You can go year round, whether you're skiing on the Great Mountains, there's 4 of them, tons of snow, no lines anywhere. Sorry, Vale. You can go, hiking and skiing and fishing in the summer, and that, the year-round beauty of Aspen really sucked me in. And, like I said, not to mention there's a really fun party town, great music, great food, great bars. It was an easy decision for a 23-year-old guy.
Sick. So walk me through a typical day in the life of a brewery owner, and how are you growing the biz?
Well, first of them, so the brewery, we've split it up 4 ways. There's 4 of us that do everything. Rory and Terry, who are, Rory's our assistant brewer, Terry's our head brewer. Those guys work real hard. There's a lot of stuff that goes into making beer. You have to be really sanitary. You always have to clean the shit out of all of your equipment. You got to make sure that everything's super sanitary. Otherwise, you ruin a whole ton of beer. So there's a lot of cleaning going on. There's obviously a lot of brewing. Right now, we're brewing about 2 or 3 times a week, and a typical brew day is all day. It's from 7 a.m. till about 5 p.m. So that consists of 2 or 3 days. The rest of the time really is transferring beer, kegging beer, delivering it. Everything revolves around getting the product as fast as you can out to the people who are going to drink it, because that's obviously how you stay in business. You sell your beer. So that's a typical day is a lot of cleaning, a lot of kegging, a lot of delivering, and then obviously working in the tasting room. This is how we market ourselves. We're in here drinking with the customers and shooting the shit, and really marketing ourselves and the business together. What was the second part of the question?
It's all right. We can move on from there. You kind of cued the next question.
Gotcha.
So, drug dealers are never supposed to get high on their own supply, so I'm told.
Yes.
Do you live by those same rules, or do you pour this shit in your breakfast cereal?
We, it's that saying where you never want to eat at a restaurant with a skinny chef. We drink a lot. That's not to say that we drink until we fall down, although I did fall down last week. We do really enjoy it. This is the only product that we make. We're proud of it. We think it's a really good product. Rarely will you see any of us drinking a PBR. Occasionally that will happen. But, we drink our own. We don't take it out of our salaries. If you're not enjoying what you're doing the wrong thing. So
cool. All right, so you now have 6 beers, which are all here. You can walk me through them in a second, but how do you guys go about crafting your new brews, and where do you get the inspiration from?
Pretty much, we started with kind of the fundamental few beers. We wanted to hit certain styles across the board so that we could, appeal to everybody. So we started with a real light one, an IPA kind of in the middle, and a brown on the ends.
And the IPA is this one?
The IPA is this beauty right here. That one's our high octane, about 9%, real hoppy Northwest IPA. Our brown's a beauty. That's a great malty, a little bit darker American brown ale. And we got our kind of lighter wheat cousins on the end, our wheat and our blonde. So we really do try to hit a lot of different markets. We never want to overload it with dark beers or light beers. When we come out with new beers like our seasonals, we try to come out with every season, obviously, head season. We sit down and we say, what do we not have? What's a beer that we all like drinking that we just haven't made yet? And it's, we'll never make a beer that we don't like drinking. I mean, we will never put raspberries in our beer. We probably won't make Belgians. Sorry for all you Belgian beer drinkers, but the four of us really have a fairly similar taste. So we sit down and say, what do we have the ingredients for? What have we not made, and what would go well with the weather that's coming up? So.
Nice. So have you guys had any major nightmares or terrible beers along the way?
Oh yeah, there's always nightmares, man. Getting open was a nightmare in itself. It's when you have to deal with turning a building from an architecture studio into a functioning brewery. You run into a lot of construction nightmares. We had, about 3 weeks before we opened, we had one of our tanks implode. So we got to walk in. We only had 4 tanks to start with, so we got to walk in with 20 gallons of glycol, slippery glycol on the floor, and a tank that looked like somebody had crushed a tin can. So that, immediately cut our production 25%, and that was, like I said, a few weeks before we opened. So that was one example of a nightmare. Like I said, we've had a few, but I've learned that at least in this business, it's peaks and valleys. You're on top of the world, and you're at the very, very bottom, and you kind of need to understand that and just deal with it along the way.
Sweet. So you live in Aspen, you make beer. That all sounds pretty good. What else do you guys get into over here?
We all have season passes, so obviously we get up on the hill a lot. It's real easy. It's a quarter mile in that direction. Usually we don't get up for a full day, but we'll get up at 9 in the morning and ski for a couple hours and then come back in and work a day. So that's a very convenient side of Aspen. It's just really, really small. You can get around really easily. During the summers, Rory's a really big fly fisherman. Duncan's pick up mountain biking. Terry's got his Harley up here, so he rides that all over the place. And I like to do a lot of different stuff. Whether we're river rafting with buddies, riding mountain bikes, hiking, camping. There's, like I said, this one of the beauties of this town is there's a lot to do year round. So whether we're on the hill or hiking, camping, all that stuff, it's all fun to do.
Nice. So BroBible readers span the country. How can they get their hands on some Aspen Brew?
It's an easy answer. You got to plan a trip out to Aspen, Colorado. I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. Right now, we're so small. We only have what's called a 7-barrel system. So it's about as small as you can possibly get on a production system. So everything is really, really close to us. We sell beer in here. We've got 16 accounts, and the farthest we distribute is Snowmass, which is about 10 miles away. So as of now, we really aren't distributing a whole lot, but we're looking at doing a move in the fall and getting into a bigger facility and start packaging. So we really want to start canning. Once we can start packaging, it's going to be a lot easier to get that beer to move. Right now, it's only obviously in here through growlers and then kegs. So kegs are pretty tough to move around. Once we can start canning, we'll be able to start sending them, hopefully all over the state to start with. Realistically, we want to be in as many places as we can, but we're smart about it. We're trying to slow and steady growth. But the Front Range, the Boulder area, we're trying to get into there soon because that's kind of where we cut our teeth. So just keep posting. You can always check the website. It's aspenbrewingcompany.com, and that's kind of where we have all of our accounts and all that stuff.
Nice. All right, so last question. You're a CU alum, so am I.
Yeah.
Tuesday we're heading down to 420. What happens in Boulder at 420?
It is just about the craziest party I've ever been involved in. How there aren't police tear gassing people, I don't know, but there aren't. If you can get yourself down there just to see the spectacle, it's amazing. On a conservative note, 4,000 people all enjoying weed in a peaceful manner. It's a good thing. It's probably, I would say, one of the few places in the U.S. where you can really, on a massive scale, enjoy the holiday.
Nice.